Well, welcome back. And as you can see behind me, that's a big plane. We're at the March Air Force Museum out here in Ontario, California, right off the 215 freeway. If you've ever been heading this way into Riverside or even going back towards the Temecula area, you've no doubt seen these planes, these classic planes off the side of the road. Now there's a lot of planes here, so I'm gonna go inside. I've never been here. Go look around and try to find some cool things. I'm sure that's not gonna be a problem. So let's go check it out. Now upon walking in, they have this old US Air Force chopper right here, but they have this F-105 Thunder Chief. Look at it. This thing is big. That was Major Pogreba that was piloting this, and I saw this thing around the corner, and what in the world? It looks like almost like a syringe, but I think it's out there to pick up a little more information than that. It's kind of got the body of the Sr71, the Blackbird. Upon entering as well, you come across a couple memorials, and this one is actually for the canines, which I've never seen. And right here, they have all the canines that either served and gave their life or passed away. It's kind of cool with all their little paws. The War Dog Memorial is a tribute to all the dog handler teams that served our country so proudly. Alright, so we're inside the main hangar right here, and look at this drone they have. But more importantly, the reason why I'm really here, growing up, this was the plane. Oh, I love this thing, the SR-71, and they actually have the Blackbird in here. It was done by Skunk Works out of, I believe it was Palmdale, Lancaster area. Back in the day, the original, well, and I'll get this wrong, and I'm sure a lot of people will let me know. One of the first B-2 bombers, or I don't think it was a B-2, but you know what I'm saying. It was a spy plane. Not sure what the snakes mean, as it's just there to pick up information. Go over to the other corner, but I'll just want to show, you can come upstairs and get a bird's eye view, in fact, of everything in this first hangar. That is cool though. Never seen one of these. I have seen a B-2 fly over, but never this plane. We can go up there too. I just saw those people go up and look inside the cockpit of the SR-71. That is a big plane. So this says the security forces, the guard post, SR-71, 64 through 98, and that's what would have been worn with those gentlemen. They show this actually right here, the delicate instrument that went on this, the framing camera, and the sensors. I don't think I'm showing any delicate information at this date and age. Now that we got some room, there's the camera that gets loaded right there. Viewing staircase, no more than 2.
Attention in the museum and on the flight line. If you have tickets for the 11 o'clock...
That's not me. I thought I was in trouble.
Can you please come up near the admission desk, please? Thank you.
There it is, the canopy lock. 2 guys. And look how sleek that is. Can you imagine being in there at 80,000 feet?
Okay, all right. Yeah, get it over with now.
That is just so intense. I've seen one of these videos on YouTube where one of the, a MiG is catching up to it, and it's got one engine, and this thing still just takes off on it. They have no chance. I mean, I've even seen rockets fired at these where it just dusts these missiles that are coming after it. Give an idea what these afterburners look like on this side as we walk around the back of this. Looks great under this light too. This was well worth the ticket price right here just to see this Blackbird. And like I said, $18, and you pretty much have free reign of the place. Good looking plane. I like all the old school signs, the Sierra Pete swads. I was lucky enough to grow up during the Top Gun era down in Miramar because of my dad. Worked on F-14 Tomcats. I was able to spend the weekends with him going down there while he worked. I don't think they want you climbing in this F1 Nat. It's an Italian plane. But not much room. And I'm 6'1", so this thing is about 5'10", I think, off the ground. It's very small. DP Videra, 1971. They have an Air Force status board right here where you can grab the phone if you so choose. Turn some buttons. A lot of interactive stuff here. They don't mind you touching it, so that's kind of cool. If you have kids, they can. This is kind of cool. They have all the old school leather jackets. Purple Heart down there, the Kentucky Colonel. That's awesome. The Homesick Angel. My dad had the patch of that. 14 Tomcats. All of these show the bombing missions that they went on. Wow. American Beauty. The Irish bombs. There's a stained glass done depicting the old school days and Navy submarine base banger. USO. Dorothy Bruce. Note from Clark Gable right there. The Red Cross is there when your soldier needs you, when he's lonesome, when he's wounded, and even when he's a prisoner of war. Clark Gable. You know, I'm here to show mostly planes and stuff outside, but they have a really, really cool exhibit in here that I just had to show. Here's the Nazi exhibit. Patches, medals, guns, jackets. Here's Japan. Drive the Japs from the Aleutians. Our bullets will do it. I've been to quite a few museums, military museums. I gotta say, the exhibits here are nice. I mean, the planes a little less. I mean, but the exhibits are just spot on. There's Oliver Cole's jacket. A 20 cannon round, a 30 millimeter cannon round, and 13 millimeter rounds.
And this time, don't let it fly you. I couldn't fly a kite. I couldn't pilot a captive balloon.
Bob, will I get to see you during the Ladies' Day visit?
You bet.
What is this? Join the Army Air Service. Be an American Eagle. Consult your local draft board. Well, they might have the chance again here shortly. God help me if this is a dud. His life is in your hands. All the old advertisements. And then, I believe this is Desert Storm, right? Iraqi Freedom, 2008 to 2009. A little bit different. A little bit upgraded. Wow, look at the shell casing. And yum. You got Sprite and Pepsi over in Israel. Got a Viet Cong flag here. North Vietnamese medals. Security officer. My dad served during the Vietnam War. I'm not sure what that says. This classic poster that I grew up with. I want you for the U.S. Army. Before my time, but was still around nonetheless. Americans share the meat as a wartime necessity. To meet the needs of our armed services and fighting allies, the government order and limits the amount of meat delivered in stores and to restaurants. And that's what it is, your fair weekly share. 2.5 pounds per... You gotta have a colon made out of something. 2.5 pounds a week? Children's packing on a pound? I don't think I put down that much right now. I'm currently in the West Wing, and I mean, it's kind of cool because you can have the place to yourself. I mean, for the most part, there's other people traveling around right now. But when we go away for a couple of nights, and then we'll head outside. We are setting up some stuff, so yes. So as I was saying, you know, you got more of these biplanes and the Wright Brothers style plane right here, the Wright cycle, and you can take fun pics in front of the beach if you so choose, or out in the hills, the rolling grass hills, and they have the Foot Locker wall, which is interesting. Shows everything that would go into a Foot Locker, all your belongings. You got the Mission Inn over there, and the little general, and the U.S. Army. Doing all you can, brother. Buy war bonds. Walking this little area. I'm not sure what this is, but here's some, I guess, bunks. And another Nazi flag in here. I guess this is jail. That's what it looks like. Doing some time. Oh, that's a POW uniform, so that's where, okay, I found it now. I get it. Wow. 1955 executive order from President Eisenhower. The POW never had a nice day pin. Ain't that the truth? There's some POW bracelets too, all the way up, that they would wear. Those look like they're mostly from the 70s. A little bit comical showing those signs, and then all the different uniforms you'd wear. Americanos todos luchamos por la victoria. America's all. Let's fight for victory. And they have some more war bond posters up here, but we're going to head outside right now.
The German is going too fast to make the sharp side track. The smaller turning radius allows the Mustangs to close in.
And we are outside, just like that. Out there is the actual March Air Force Base. Now, we have to our left planes, to our right planes. I guess I'll start right, and then we'll make our way around. And the Death Jesters. Okay, that's already got my eye. Anything like that with the paintings on them, the old style, those will always get me every single time, I tell you. Well, I can't think of a better place to start than right here. From the Navy, an F-14 Tomcat. This is what my dad worked on. The Top Gun movie, the original one with Tom Cruise, I believe it was 85, was because of this movie, this aircraft. And spent many of days down at Camp Pendleton, was a Navy base, while my dad worked on the brakes. I taught my dad how to do brakes, so he knows what I'm talking about. Wow, this is quite the aircraft. Just thought I'd start here with the F-14. They do have helicopters over here, but I'm gonna do planes today, I think, a little bit more. This one's all folded up and been transported. And I don't think this one's going anywhere for a while, like the ones out in Palm Springs usually come for a while and then they move on. Now this is a good looking plane right here. These always get my attention. I love the clear, and usually they have, not this plane exactly, but this is a Super Fortress, the B-29 Boeing bomber. This is a big plane. Jeez. Lots of bird poop too. Stories this thing could probably tell. Got your little side window right there, and the big K in the back. Now I'm 99.9999999% sure that this is not active, but right here in the shade, loading the little boy, the atomic bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. Right here. Carefully taxing the massive bomber into place over the pit permitted the weapon to be raised into position and loaded. And there's some still photos that would have been transported on the plane you see in front of us. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this one is non-operational. It's a hollow shell. It looks like they're working on it right now too. They got a couple planes out here that they're putting together. And like I said, they have the helicopter side with a bunch of these helicopters lifted off the ground, which is kind of cool. It gives them the in action sort of look. There's the Willow Dean. It's the Army. Wow. I don't know what the newest one is that they have here. I mean, these might be the newest ones, these Vietnam era helicopters. I have another B-17 over here. This one is named the Starduster. Plenty of guns on the front too, and some lucky individual got to sit right in there and swing around and make sure he was protecting this B-17 from any pesky little planes trying to shoot it out of the sky. They have all these walkways, a couple old Jeeps. Looks like somebody's leaving right now, but whoa, they got some privacy curtains in case you want to have some privacy in. They got the gun on top to shoot behind you. Just don't shoot your own tail. As you can see, the gunner right there that would shoot and swivel around. Some lucky young man got to slide all the way down into the back of the plane and cozy up in here, where he would, well, it looks like they kind of filled it in, but up and down, and I'm sure left to right as well. This was someone's workspace, their office, so to speak. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these are MiGs. Yes, they are, MiG-17. Russian planes that were small and quick. They can get around a little bit quicker. There's a MiG-19, that was a MiG-17 back there. If you know your MiGs. And the intake right there. Pull the air through. Wow, and that's your visual. We've now made our way over, completed the whole right hand, well now left hand, my left hand side, and we'll head over to the right hand side. So I'll turn around because I'm at the end, but you got this US Air Force plane right here, and I gotta figure if you've ever taken a long road trip like I have and you're getting low on gas, you're pretty happy to see this guy pull up. This is a refueler. It's a tanker plane, so yeah, when you're doing those long missions, those bombing missions, and this guy would come, top you off, go a little bit further, complete the mission. Don't know if you ever played the Top Gun game like I did back in the day, and that was the worst part of it. When you're playing the Top Gun game, my dad knows too. For whatever reason they included in the game, you have to refuel your plane. And if you don't do it in a certain amount of time, the tanker takes off, he just leaves. And then that's the end. You're done, because you didn't get enough gas. I don't know why they included that in that video game. Somebody, there's a Prime Air right there. Amazon is right over here. But those guys are taking some close-up photos of Amazon. They must love their packages. But anyways, I digress. So like I was saying, this is still active. They do still have planes taking off from here. The military base marches on the other side. Down on that side is actually Amazon. This huge new building over here is all Target. So Target's going to be taking off from here too. So a lot of commercial stuff coming out of here. No drone zone, restricted airspace. I can understand why. Warning, U.S. Air Force installation. Don't think about jumping the fence. So this A9 could carry, it says, 12 bombs for the ground attacks, and that it would be able to carry pretty much a full arsenal here. So this wasn't chosen by Northrop Grumman. It says they actually went with the A10, the Warthog, instead of this, is what the placard denotes. And the Warthog's a beast, if you've ever seen that. Hopefully they have one of those lying around here, but I highly doubt it. But that is a lot of bombs to support in some some groundwork. Now here's the Death Jester's plane, and they got their wings up right now. I believe this held 4 people in it, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing these around the base as well. I think my dad referred to it as Mama taking the kids to the store in the station wagon, because you could fit so many people, so many bodies in there. Got their radar up top. Captain Ian Isaiah Cox out of Indiana. And then you got this guy. Wah, wah, wah. Look, it's a clown plane. So we have a B-52 bomber here. Now this plane would fly so high that it would be undetectable. This plane could also carry 100 500-pound bombs. That is pretty darn impressive. You wouldn't even know this thing's coming or even creeping through the night. Now another thing about this, you don't have to worry about filling this guy up, because this thing is capable, and this one has, from reading the sign over here, completely flown around the world. This guy can fly the whole globe. Wow. Insane. I wonder what Howard Hughes would think of this, or what he did think of this. I forgot what year he passed away in, but Spruce Goose has nothing on this thing. Those bombing missions on the side. So a few quick notes while I'm out here. It does get very warm, so you'd probably want to go mid-morning or maybe even later evening. I think they close at 5. Perfect place for kids to run around and climb on stuff. I mean, they don't want you on the planes, but there's ladders and everything else. Like I said, it was $18 for adults. I know there's a military discount, kids discount. Huge open area, expansive area. Tons of planes to see. I'm only showing a handful, tip of the iceberg, as they say, of what I'm finding interesting and sharing just a bit. I'm sure I'll be back here. A little bit different. I'm looking forward to going to the Arizona, I believe it's Pima graveyard. I'm gonna go check that out. One thing's for sure, our grandfathers sure knew how to make things that lasted. This stuff is, I mean, history at your fingertips. If you're not so big on reading about it, you want to have something more tangible, come out to the March Air Force Base. This sucker right here, this is what I'm talking about, part of the video game. So that lowers down to refuel you, and so you'd be in an F-14 in the game, and you'd have to like connect the front of your plane to that little thing right there to refuel. And if you don't, I mean, eventually it'll let you try again, and then it would just take off on you. So frustrating. Now I've shown some pretty impressive US planes, that weird little Italian plane inside, but let's not forget the Canadians, the Royal Canadian Air Force. Not so intimidating as some of these other ones I've seen, but hey, they got a plane too, right, Canada? Well, that's going to do it for me and from the March Air Force Base. I showed quite a few things. I could see coming back here. You could spend a good 2-3 hours here. I could definitely see that. Also, I wanted to show you inside. They were showing me that, well, also on the weekends they open a lot more of this up, so you can go inside the planes and kind of see what it was like being on board the planes. But they have a Dead Horse Creek Paranormal at Marchfield Air Museum. Now, there's that. The QR code's on there if you so choose. So the gentleman inside was saying that they have a haunted tour, like everything nowadays. One of these inside, one of the hangars is supposed to be haunted. Like 3 planes are supposed to be haunted. Come on out, make your own decision. So, but they do have that going on. You can look that up yourself. The Dead Horse Creek Paranormal at March Air Force Base. So, as always, I appreciate you watching. If you have any history on these planes or know something, please leave a message. Reach out to me. Glad to hear from you. And please consider subscribing. I don't know, sometimes YouTube slows down on me. Sometimes they pick up. It's YouTube, man. It's YouTube. So, yeah, please consider subscribing. And as always, see you next time. Canadian Air Force. What are they going to drop a maple syrup bomb? I can't think of a better name for a plane, even though it is the Air Force, but I'd love to have an U.S. Air Force FU. Do you fly? Oh, don't worry about it. Fly the FU. That's right, FU 560, FU 304. Right here we got my darling Ramona. I know I keep seeing stuff on my way out, but I'd like to introduce you all to Ramona. That's her right there.